In Outlander Season 7, Episode 5, Claire and Jamie find themselves in the thick of the American Revolution, while Brianna comes across a startling discovery during her new job. Meanwhile, Ian faces his worries about being unable to have children and reunites with a potential love interest. Hi Megan! So, Season 7, Episode 5, we're getting into the thick of it now. What did you make of the episode?
So much happened in this episode. Like, it really is, like, the phrases are just never going to get a break. I felt so upset for Bree in this episode. I felt frustrated for Claire in this episode. And, oh my gosh, Willie has just had, like, the scariest, most awful time as well.
That Fraser drama runs deep. Like, even when they're not near, the Frasers are getting up to all sorts, uncovering serial killers and whatnot. Yeah. It's just one thing after the next. And I know something else that you're going to be upset about, and that is that the Frasers are still not in Scotland. They're now in they're in a settlement that's name has completely escaped me, but it does just seem like all roads are leading there, though. So the hunters have joined them there, and I think it's only a matter of time until we see William there as well. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see the Frasers in Scotland this season. I mean, I'm not sure. It all depends on how much they want to take from the books and what pacing they're going with, I guess, this season. But I think they're going to be stuck in America for a little while longer. Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating. I felt really annoyed with Claire, in this episode more than anyone, because obviously she has Dagto not listening to her, and then Jamie doesn't have anyone listening to him as well about the fort's defences. So the whole thing was really frustrating to watch.
It's a classic Claire problem, isn't it? That she's like a better healer than all of them, but because she's a woman, no one wants to listen to her. But it's nice that she has the hunter brother now, whose name is Denzel. I got it. Because, there's clearly some respect for her there. I do think there's something to be said with that the hunters are clearly going to be a nice new family who are allies to the Frasers.
Yeah, I really like them as new additions, actually. And I also, you can definitely sense the tension between Rachel and then Ian. I'm hoping for some romance there. I feel like they just seem to gel quite well together. And this is the second time I think that we've sort of seen them together. So I'm hoping something blossoms there.
Absolutely. I mean, there's definitely a vibe. I feel like it's being set up with Ian coming to terms with his paternity struggles. And so, by the way, was that his son?
Yes. So it was his son. That was really confusing to me because the last time we left off with Ian, in terms of his family, he had been with that lovely lady whose name I cannot remember. And she'd basically left him because he couldn't give her a child. They'd lost their daughter.
In the Mohawk community.
Yeah, so she ran off with someone else, basically. And now it turns out that Ian could actually have children, and he has a son. So in a way, the whole kind of thing was pointless. She went off with someone else to have a baby, but Ian could actually, his spirit was strong enough. I just don't know.
So I wasn't 100% sure because it seemed like it wasn't completely in black and white. It was like, oh, you're his spirit father, and it's like, but also biological though.
Yeah, I think the fact that he had the classic Fraser red hair and the curls, I think there was just no way around it. He is 100% Ian's son when you saw that.
Yeah, absolutely, and and that's great. That's been the resolve because that's been a real part of Ian's story arc, and I think now that that's resolved and he's given Rachel the eye again, I think it can only mean that sparks are flying between them. But I did think that William sort of fancied Rachel.
I did too.
Did you get that?
I'm not sure. See, I did, but I kind of feel like the way that he departed, her at the end of the episode and he hasn't gone with them, and now she's kind of back on the path of Ian, I feel like that's the show's way of saying, this is where her story's going. It's, William's got this whole other storyline coming. He's obviously, at some point, he's going to have some drama with Jamie this season. I mean, he has to with all the hints. So I just don't think that romance is on the cards for him right now. But I mean, I'm happy to be proved wrong.
You might be right, or we might get a classic love triangle, which I wouldn't be against.
I wouldn't be mad at that. No, I'd quite like a love triangle. We haven't had one for a long time, really. I mean, since Claire's husband passed away in the earlier seasons, we haven't really had an intense love triangle like that.
Absolutely. And I mean, so this episode as well, we had a new villain of a casual serial killer that tried to kill William and the hunters, and that he got rid of. And then you've also got Jamie, classically as per his personality, coming at odds with the commander of his new placement, which is like, I know he's right, but also, he's in an army now, and I thought, he is actually being insubordinate, and that's not the way to go. I mean, just can't help but be right.
It's classic Jamie, isn't it? But I must say, like, one thing with Outlander that always kind of gets me is how he'll go to Claire and basically say, what is the history? Like, what happens in this battle? And Claire's just like an encyclopedia. She's like, oh, yeah, I remember this. And you just think, my God, the luck. Like, I don't remember my history GCSE. Like, how the hell does she remember all of these facts?
Oh, it reminds me of the Battle of Singapore. I wasn't there, but...
Yeah, luck of the draw with the modules, Claire, for all these references.
I actually made a note of what I thought was the line of the episode and really made me laugh, which is like when Jamie was trying to say about how the British will attack, and he went, where a goat can go, a man can go.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I mean, it's
true, but...
Good point. You've got to be 100% accurate. I mean, obviously he is right, but I was like, oh my God, where a goat can go, a man can go. Okay, so I think we've covered the 18th century plot, so let's talk more about Bree and Roger and Jemmy and Mandy. Because Bree, in her new job, she discovered a time portal, didn't she? Like, where is buzzing?
Yes. Yeah, I feel like they've left that quite ominous. Like, we don't know too much about it yet, but it's obviously going to have a bigger role in the season, like it has to. But it is interesting, because if she's hearing all of that, did she have a stone on her? Are we getting into this territory again of like, if she has a stone, does it mean that's potentially a time-traveling portal? I don't know.
Wow. Like, we've learned some things from our YouTube commenters in previous episodes that, like, they always have a gem. So when we thought before, like, oh no, like, Claire didn't have a gem, whatever she did, she had one on a watch, you know, this sort of thing. So maybe it's a portal, but Bree was just completely clear of jewelry at that particular moment. She was gem-free.
Yeah.
She runs at it, which I thought was quite interesting as well, because she doesn't even... She just goes for it, and it's like, you're going to end up back in the past, though. You have your husband and children.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't know what time period she would have gone to if it was the case. I mean, what would she have done?
Yeah, but what's that saying? It's like, because obviously it's like she very much misses her parents, and like this is like evident in this episode, which is actually, it's an interesting way of thinking about it. Like, I've never really thought about the fact that in, Bree and Roger's time now, Jamie and Claire are dead. Like, obviously they're dead.
Yeah.
But in my head, their stories are running simultaneously via two timelines. So it's kind of like sad to see Brianna sort of grieving them, because they are gone. Because it's like, yeah, but they're not though. They're still going. They're just in a different,
Yeah, it's so weird to do. But I mean, I obviously hope that we do see them reunited again. I don't know how that would come about, especially with Mandy's heart condition, but I would love to see that, because I think that Bree is like really suffering with it.
But the thing is with the heart condition was that was when she was a baby and they needed to give her treatment. But now she's older, a few years have passed. It's like maybe the running full tilt at the sort of stones, whatever it was that was there, is kind of like a real hint that she's ready to be back with them, back in the past.
I mean, I hope so. But yeah, what I thought was interesting in this episode though is that you see like Bree is obviously 100 years down the line, 200 years, whatever, from Claire. Sorry, I'm not thinking of the specific dates right now. But, she was still facing the same problems that Claire was. And, you have this moment where Roger says to her, well, you're dealing with all these men at work who underestimate you. But imagine your mom being, the first woman at Harvard Medical School. And I thought that was really nice, because it kind of feels like even though they're in different timelines, they sort of have the same problems. So I think it connects them a little bit. And it's nice to think of Bree thinking of her mum and sort of being inspired by her to like move forward with it.
That's really nice. That is really nice. And I think speaking of villains, we have a new villain in Bree's co-worker Rob Cameron, who seems like a terrible human being. And there's a lot of intriguing things about there potentially being stones down there that they can pass through in time, because it's like, well, someone is surely going to go through that. Is Rob going to go through it? Is Bree going to go through it? Like, but I think he's one to watch. He's not a good person.
Yeah, there's definitely something there. We've kind of got like a few different villains like creeping up in the background. I just don't know who's going to become the main villain this season, because we've got Bug is after Ian, We've now got Bree's co-worker kind of lurking in the corners. And you kind of don't know what's going to happen. Maybe, William might pose a bit of a threat to Jamie. And, we just don't know. I don't actually know who the main villain of the season is yet. And I quite like that.
Yeah, me too. And as well, you've got the person that's been eating all of the snacks and leaving rubbish and stuff who Mandy saw outside Bree and Roger's house. So I have no idea who that is.
No,
so
I don't
that's quite
either.
interesting.
I mean, I tried to have a good look during the scene, see if I could identify him for myself, but not too sure yet.
No, it is a mystery. So, I mean, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see till the next episode. Thank you so much for joining us for the latest episode of Outlander Insider. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and head over to hellomagazine.com for more news about Outlander. And feel free to leave your comments. We love reading them and replying to them, and we will see you next week. Bye.